Hey everybody, it's Jared from New Orleans here. Um, First I want to apologize for not putting up a new video in so long. Just been super busy. I know it's been a while, really has been a while. But I've had some time in the past few months to experiment with some new materials, and I wanted to show you guys some of these new masks I have here in progress before I completely finish them here. I'm really excited about them. And as you can see in the background, another new project I just did recently. I was super busy getting ready for Mardi Gras. We have a Mardi Gras walking crew now, so I've expanded on experimenting with the giant walking heads, and this was these are a couple of the new ones that I just made, and I mean it went off great. We had a blast with these things. And what these are, my experiment with these was about a year ago. I was commissioned by a local bar here on Bourbon Street to make a mascot for them, and it's another one of the giant skulls with the top hat. Similar, they had seen the one did before and wanted one as their mascot for the bar. So when I built it, I built the skull and hat separately. And when I built the skull, a buddy of mine helped me to make a giant mold of it. So I have a huge mold that's silicone rubber mold, and then a really thick fiberglass mother mold that holds it in place. And I can then cast fiberglass shells of the two halves, put them together. And my experiment was that I can make the skull shells and then flesh them out, almost like a forensic reconstruction. I can flesh different faces on them, and that's exactly what I have here. These are both the same skull as underneath, and I just fleshed out some different characters. I got the typical, and these are some of the typical, classic old-time clown, carnival clown, or circus clown. And right here, this is a Cajun guy, that's really big down here. I'm part Cajun too, so it's really big down here. We got a big Cajun guy, and it was great. Super a lot of fun. But another crew that I'm trying to work on is I was really inspired by seeing the Krampus parades. I had never heard of that until about 5 or 6 years ago. I can't believe I'd never heard, that there was such a character. And I believe from what I've seen and read about it, it's in alpine villages in like Austria and southern Germany, and I believe in Switzerland in certain places during Christmas time. They'll parade, and it's like a huge troop of demons that walk with St. Nicholas. And of course, the demons are there to scare the bad children into behaving. But I think it does go back to some ancient pagan roots, and it's really, really looks cool. And I was really inspired by it and figured I want to make my own Krampus walking crew for here in New Orleans and try and get it up off the ground. And I have a bunch of friends interested in doing it with me. So, and I've seen also online that there are other Krampus crews popping up around America. Like I think I saw one in L.A., maybe one somewhere in Pennsylvania. So I want to try and start one here. So one of my experiments was to use the similar method I showed you guys before, which is a method I learned through building Mardi Gras props, which some people call it sticky paper. It has different terms that they use down here, but it's kind of like a little trade secret, somewhat, down here in New Orleans. And what all it is it's what do you call it? Brown craft paper or carpentry paper. You can get rolls of it at any hardware store. Oh, it's called contractor paper, brown contractor paper, and you coat it with contact cement, both sides, hang it up on a line to dry. When it's dried, it sticks to itself like tape, so you can actually sculpt it and mold it. And I will actually mold stuff right on my head. So first, let me show you one of my Krampus masks that's almost completely finished, and I'm really proud of this one. Now, and let me put it on for you, so you can see the detail in it. But I'm going to talk about what I use to achieve this detail on the outside, because the inside is the same sticky paper, which I'll show you right here. If you look inside, hopefully you can see it in this lighting. See, it's just the brown craft paper, sticky paper, and I built it right on top of my face, so it fits my head perfectly. Now, later I'm going to add hair, and these are actual real goat horns that I had laying around for a while. I eventually was going to use. So this turned out to be the perfect project to use it on. Um, so yeah, I just attached the goat horns. Now what I did, I tried a new material that I found the recipe for online, and it's called cold porcelain. And I figured maybe I could try to smear it on here and carve some details, and it's really worked out pretty good so far. It was kind of strange to get used to its consistency and everything, but it seems to have worked pretty good so far. I mean, it has some cracking happened, and I'm gonna add hair, long hair onto hair extensions all over these guys too. So this is one that's, I mean, I think his paint job is done. So, this is homemade. I made this on my kitchen table here at home. So here is another one, pretty horrifying looking. Same thing. Built it right on top of my head with paper. So it fits. Hopefully you all can see it in this light. It's kind of bad lighting today. And this one too will eventually have hair and everything added to it. I know the lighting is bad in here today. It's kind of a rainy, gloomy day, but let's see if you guys can see this. And these horns are not real. I just sculpted these horns. Couldn't really find what I was looking for online. Or the horns I did look at were pretty expensive, so I just decided to sculpt them myself. So hopefully y'all can see these details. Let me try to put it up like this. Okay, so let me show you, the whole purpose of this video was to show you how they looked in different stages before I completely finished them. So what I have here are two other ones that haven't been painted yet. Okay, so this guy still has just the plain cold porcelain. And cold porcelain, if you look up the recipes and try it, it's wood glue and cornstarch mixed together with a little bit of baby oil, and I think there was a touch of lemon juice. And same thing, the inside is paper, as you can see, just like the other ones. I sculpted this completely on my head. Now this one had a little bit of shrinkage, so I've had to adjust it. It shrunk a little bit, and I had to break off some in the back here because it was really pinching onto my head. Now as you can see, kind of see how it looks. It's a great, I mean, this stuff really worked good for a skin. I'm trying to put it up there, you can see it. Now, it did have some cracking, unfortunately. That's the only thing. But it, for something like this, for trolls or creatures, the cracking kind of adds to it, actually. And for the eyes, I used half of a rubber ball in there. So this guy is looking cool, and he's going to look really cool. Can't wait to finish him. So I wanted to make this video before I jumped ahead. I'm itching to finish all these, and I have one more. This one, and this one too, is coming out really cool. Loving it. So right here, the reason he's white and yellow, the yellow was wood glue, and the white was the regular white Elmer's glue. And same thing, like I showed before, paper, built right onto my head. Just kind of I smash it first as like a skull cap on, and then start sticking pieces down, building it up. Make sure I have my eye holes set in place first. And so this guy is looking great. I mean, I'm loving him. I can't wait till I finish painting him up and adding the hair. So, like I said, I'm excited about these. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential to do a bunch of stuff with this. I mean, I actually even used a little bit of the cold porcelain on some of the details on my big Cajun head guy here, there was some, I used it a little bit for some of his wrinkles, but this was a big experiment. Like I said, underneath this is a fiberglass shell skull. On top of that, I crumpled the same paper to build up the facial features. And because I was short on time trying to get ready for Mardi Gras, they came out a little heavy because I used joint compound. I smeared some joint compound over it and sanded it down. And it did help to get him smooth, so he doesn't have a lot of the wrinkly paper look of like a paper mache. But of course, this stuff, if I would have used this all over those big heads, this would have been too heavy and would have taken a long time. But as you can see, I mean, these are, like I said, I'm excited about them. These are cool, you know. They almost kind of remind me of, you know, orcs from Lord of the Rings a little bit if it didn't have the horns on here. They're kind of similar to orcs. Let me see if you can see some of the detail, if I can get it up closer. Now, of course, this one too cracked a little bit, but I think that's going to actually add to it. And, you know, once this guy's all painted, I think I'm going to make these last two a little paler, maybe with white hair. And if anybody's unfamiliar with Krampus, you can, you know, Google tons of pictures. I mean, they have some amazing masks. Like I said, I was inspired by people online, and you know, I'm a horror and sci-fi nerd, so I love this kind of stuff. You know, so here's, you know, this was the paint job, and this was just painted by hand, and but now I actually purchased a new airbrush. I hadn't had one in years, so I'm going to try that on the next few too. So there we go. Just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully that inspires some people to have fun. And I mean, it sure is a lot of fun for me. I love making this kind of stuff. And people love all these things. Take tons of pictures with us, and we just have a blast. So you guys enjoy, and thanks for watching. And I'll try to answer people's questions if I can. You know, usually don't have too much time. I have a lot of big projects coming up, but I'll try to make some follow-up videos and show you all how, you know, how these two new guys. And then when they have the hair and everything added, I'll try and do an update video so you can check them out. But I mean, look at the cool wrinkles and stuff in here. So, okay, everybody, thanks a lot, and y'all have a good one.